Alright, hello everyone. Ang lecture natin for today, ilalagay ko to under ng Industrial Organizational Psychology or the Psychology of the Workplace. Alam nyo yan for the psych majors. So, ang title ng lecture ko for today is Mastering Harmony, Achieving Work-Life Balance. Kasi isa sa mga hot word in the field of IO psychology is work-life balance, especially in a society where many people feel wala na silang work-life balance. Now, let me start this lecture by saying something that will really rock your world. Talagang babaliktad yung mundo nyo, so I suggest humawa kayo sa mga upuan nyo. Bakit? Kasi ito yung sasabihin ko sa inyo, there is no such thing as work-life balance. Which is so weird. Kasi nga, yung title natin ngayon is about work-life balance. Tapos sasabihin ko, there is no such thing as work-life balance. Kaya nga, gusto kong palitan tong title ko eh. No? From this title, X natin yan, gusto ko yung bagong title ko is How to Love Working. Got that? So for those of you na ito yung tanong nyo sa buhay, paano ba mag-achieve ng work-life balance? Scrap that out. Mas maganda ang itanong mo, how should you train yourself to love working? Yan yung pag-uusapan natin in today's lecture. Siyempre, dahil malaking bahagi ng lecture natin is about work, alamin muna natin yung work according to the APA. I-zoom in natin, just pause the video if you like, yan ang ibig sabihin ng work. Masyadong mahaba, no? Yung ibig sabihin ng work, I'm sure kung estudyante ka, you don't like this appearing in the exam. So I would rather paraphrase this, work are actions using your personal resources that aim to what? Saan mo ginagamit yung mga personal resources mo? That aim to give value. I want to highlight that word, give value. Pinapa-improve mo. Pinapataas mo yung antas ng pamumuhay ng sarili mo, pati na rin ng ibang tao. So anything that you do na gumagamit din ng resources mo para mapaganda ang buhay mo, pati na ng ibang tao, that could be considered work. Kaya nga, one example of that would be si Jesus. Nung nasa mundo siya, if you read the Gospels, araw-araw ng buhay niya, especially his adult life, talagang nagtatrabaho siya. He is using his personal resources for the benefit of other people. Paulit-ulit siyang nagtuturo, paulit-ulit siyang nagpo-proclaim ng gospel, paulit-ulit siyang nagpapagaling ng mga may sakit. Pinapagaling niya yung mga may leprosy, pinapalakad niya yung mga pilay. Almost every day of his ministry, yan yung ginagawa niya. Improving the life of other people by using his own personal resources. Fast forward, mas modern examples would be yung mga service crew sa Jollibee. Yung ginagawa nila, ang tawag dyan, work. Ginagamit nila yung personal resources nila, yung lakas nila, yung talino nila, para mabigyan kayo ng chicken joy. Para mabusog kayo, para maging happy kayo paglabas nyo ng store nila. Got that? So we can say na itong ginagawa nila is a line of their work. Now, in the context of students, I'm sure marami mga students na nakikinig ngayon, yung work sa inyo is what? Studying. Kaya dapat kinoconsider nyo na yung studying is a form of work. Don't you agree? I-analyze nyo. Yung pag-aaral, pasok ba sa definition dito? You use your personal resources to give value to yourself and other people. Nasaan yung value to the self? Because the more you learn in school, the more you increase your value as a person. Diba? Dumadami yung talino mo, dumadami yung alam mo, nagiging magaling ka sa accounting, nagiging magaling ka sa psychology, nagiging magaling ka sa creative arts, kung ano man yung course mo. At the same time, bakit mo pinapagaling yung sarili mo? Ano ang end purpose nun? Because you are preparing yourself to be of service para mapagsilbihan mo yung ibang tao in the future when you graduate. Kaya ang implication niyan, lahat ng estudyante merong work. The next time na may magtanong sa'yo, kung estudyante ka pa lang, ikaw ba may work ka na? Anong sagot? Meron na. Anong work mo? Anong sagot doon? I am a student. I am a student who studies a certain field. Yun yung work mo. Okay? So, maybe you are not yet employed, but you already have work. Iba kasi yung may work ka sa employed ka. I discussed that in my other lectures. No, basta ang bottom line lang ngayon, kung estudyante ka, meron kang work. Maliwanag. So, balik tayo dun sa title ko. Maikli lang tong lecture ko today, no? How to Love Working. Huwag kang maghanap ng work-life balance. Ang problemahin mo, how should you train yourself to love working? meron akong dalawang major points dyan. No? Number one, dapat magsimula ka sa acknowledging the truth that work is life. And number two, dapat i-adapt mo yung mga correct mindsets about work. Because many people today in our society, kaya ayaw sa trabaho, kaya hindi maganda ang working life, mali-mali yung mindsets na meron. Iko-correct natin ngayon yan. So punta tayo sa number one, we start with acknowledging the truth that work is life. Anong ibig sabihin ko ng work is life? We work because we are alive. We are alive, so we work. Kung nasan ka man, I want you to pause the video, sabihin mo to ng 3 beses. Ready? We work because we are alive. We are alive, so we work. Isa pa. We work because we are alive. We are alive, so we work. Last one. We work because we are alive. We are alive, so we work. Maliwanag. Huwag mong paghihiwalayin yung konsepto ng work at saka nung existence mo, also known as life. Marami mga tao, whenever they work, they assume walang life doon. Kaya nila hinihiwalayan. Iba yung work, iba yung life. But given this principle, iisa lang yung work and life, hindi dapat magkahiwalayan. Your existence equals work. So another way of saying work is life is our existence confirms our work confirms our existence. Sabihin mo yan ng 1 beses lang this time. Our existence confirms our work confirms our existence. Ganyan dapat. Walang pinagkaiba yung work mo sa life mo kasi yung buhay mo, it's all about work. Now, I'm sure many of you are asking this question. Lagi akong tinatanong ng mga students ko na when I teach this, why humans are meant for work? Ang mga nagtatanong nito, yung mga hindi matanggap that work is equals life. Sige nga sir, patunayan mo sa amin kung bakit ang humans, ang design natin mag-work. Actually, ang sagot yan, it has something to do with how we are created. It has something to do with the nature of our Creator. We go Genesis 1:1. Diba? Sa Genesis 1:1, the very first passage in the Bible, meron na kaagad tayong matututunan about this God that we are talking about. He loves to work. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. I want to highlight the word created. God is a working God. Creating is a form of working. So, dinami-dami nang pwedeng sabihin about God. Yung pinakaunang statement about God, bakit ito yung sinasabi sa atin that God is a working God? Because it's such a big chunk of His attribute. Masipag si Lord gumawa. Masipag si Lord mag-work. In fact, even after reading Genesis 1:1, don't stop there. Ituloy-tuloy mo yung Genesis chapter 1. He did not stop creating from day 1 until day 7. Actually, kulang lang yung picture ko dito, pero day 7, may ginawa pa rin siya. Ginawa niya yung rest day. Oh, creating pa rin yun. He is a God who loves to work. In fact, even right now, huwag niyo sabihin na, tapos na yung Genesis si Lord hindi na gumagawa ngayon. God loves to work so much that even after Genesis, up until today, He is still working. Sinabi yan sa Gospel of John. But Jesus answered to them, to this day, my Father, who is God, is at His work. Right now, at this very moment, pwede mong i-apply sa mga sarili natin ngayon yan. God is currently working. Have you asked yourself, in what way do you think God is working right now? Yung ngayon talaga, ano yung something sa environment mo na talaga nakikita mo, God is at work? Let me give you one. The fact na nakikinigan ng lecture na to, it's already an indication that God is at work where? In your life. Hindi aksidente that you are watching this lecture video. This is God's way of working at something in your life. Kaya mo napanood tong lecture na to. You see? That is the God of the Bible. He never stops working. He is the God of work. Now, we take it from there. So, God is a God of work. How did God create humans? Paano niya ginawa yung tao? He created humans in a very specific way. Ito yung very popular na term sa Bible, in His own image. So, from Genesis 1:1, you jump to Genesis 1:17. Sorry, hindi pala 17. 27, it's mentioned there that God created man in His own image. So, yung psyche ng tao na pinag-aaralan natin sa psychology is created in the image of God. Created in the image of God who loves to work. In layman's term, na mana mo sa Diyos, yung kanyang katangian na mahilig siyang mag-work. Kaya tayong mga tao, yung psyche natin, meron tayong natural predisposition to love work, to search for work, to look for something to do every moment. Actually, magsimula ka lang sa katawan mo eh. Kitang-kita mo that it's in our nature to work. Even scientists would agree. Kung titignan mo raw yung design ng skeletal system natin, you can conclude one thing, that indeed we are created for movement. And why are we created for movement? Saan natin gagamitin yung movement? To work on certain things. Isa tayo sa pinaka-sophisticated ang skeletal system. Ang dami nating complex movements na pwedeng gawin that other creatures cannot do. Nagigets nyo? So dun pa lang it's already a testament. It already speaks of our design for work because God designed us to work. Sabi nga nila, where there are humans, there is work, there is creation. Paano mo malalaman sa isang lugar na merong tao? Halimbawa, pumunta ka sa isang lugar tapos wala kang makitang tao. How would you know na merong tao once upon a time there? Or merong current tao doon, hindi mo lang makita kung saan. Maghanap ka ng creation. Yan kasi ang sign na may tao kapag merong creation. Kung nasaan yung tao, lagi tayong gagawa ng paraan para magkaroon tayo ng creation. Bakit merong Great Pyramid sa Egypt? Because humans created it. Let's go local. Bakit tayo merong Banawe Rice Terraces? Kasi merong ginawa ang tao. Bakit meron tayong 7 wonders of the world? Anong common dyan sa 7 wonders of the world na yan? All of this were created by human beings who love to work, who love to create something in the environment. In fact, kahit yung science kaya nga na-invento yung science, I hope you realize, science was invented for us to be able to create more things systematically. Yan yung essence of science. Kaya natin ginawa yan para lalo tayong maraming creation na pwedeng gawin. Yun nga lang, sa science kasi mas systematic. Yung maraming mga wonders dito, yan, yung mga ganyan, trial and error yan But we become more systematic in the way we think, in the way we create something through science, but regardless, kaya ginawa ang science still so that we can realize our ability, our desire, our quote-unquote wiring to create, to work on something. So because of science, nakakreate tayo ng light bulb, nakagawa tayo ng kotse, nakagawa tayo ng laptop, at kung ano-ano pa. Bottom line, science is created for us to realize God's image in us to work, to create something. Kaya mag-side comment lang ako, another lesson we can learn here. Huwag niyo sasabihin that science contradicts God. Huwag niyo sasabihin that science disproves that there is God, just the opposite. The fact that science is here, the fact that God allowed science to happen, it's because science reflects the attribute of God, which is to create. It is a human avenue for us para lalo tayong makapag-work. Science make humans work more and more. Saan galing yung ability natin, yung desire natin for work? From the Creator who designed us in the first place. Now, let's go the opposite. That's why, if people stop working, you can expect a lot of negative effects. Kapag ang tao pinigilan mo magtrabaho, kapag hindi mo sinunod yung nature mo na magtrabaho, like what? Number one, syempre, physically, if you don't work, magkakaroon ka ng obesity. Masisira yung katawan mo. Tataas ang fat level mo, tataas ang cholesterol, tataas ang blood pressure, kung ano-ano pang tataas na pwede nating ikamatay. Kaya nga ano ang gamot sa obesity? Para humaba-haba yung buhay natin. Exercise and what? Working out. Let me emphasize that. Work out. Why is working out good for our body? Because it's the nature of our body to move. Kaya yung mga mahihilig umupo dyan, yung mga mahihilig humiga dyan, habang nanonood ng TV, kumakain ng tortillos na cheese flavor, sinisip-sip pa yung daliri, ay nako, hindi maganda yan. Okay? Dapat yung katawan natin constantly gumagalaw yan. Yan ang wiring natin. It's to work. Number two, another negative effect pag hindi nagtrabaho yung tao is we experience boredom, which is a negative psychological emotion. Tama ba? Hindi masarap sa pakiramdam yung mabore ka. In fact, whenever we feel bored, anong natural tendency natin? We will look for something to work on. Hahanap tayo ng gagawin. Bakit tayo naghahanap ng gagawin para bumaba yung boredom? Kasi nga, hindi masarap sa pakiramdam ang mabore. We don't like being bored. So, papababain natin yung boredom natin by doing something. And this is so interesting because boredom is human universal. Lahat ng tao sa buong mundo merong capacity to feel bored. And most of the time, when do people feel bored? Pag wala silang magawa, pag wala silang work. Because again, all human beings are designed in the image of God. Number 3, nagkakaroon ng mental health issues pag ang tao walang work. Like for example, no, in this journal article, isa pala sa pinakamatinding pwedeng mangyari sa tao psychologically is unemployment. Dati kang may trabaho, biglang for what reason, nawalan ka ng trabaho, ang laki ng negative effect niyan sa mental health. Actually, i-connect natin yan during the pandemic. Bagay na bagay yan sa nangyari sa Pilipinas. During the pandemic, it was estimated around 7.3 million jobs ang nawala among Filipinos. 7.3 million. Now, along with this loss of job, by the way, in the language of business, ang tawag nila dito is unemployment rate. Tumaas yung unemployment rate, kasabay nun, tumaas din yung mental health issues. And I think that is not a coincidence. I think meron tong causal relationship. Dahil marami mga tao ang nawalan ng work, such a big part of our psyche, negatively nasira yung mental health ng maraming tao. Like for example, there was a report done by the UP Population Institute. During those times sa maraming nawalan ng trabaho, marami ang nag-isip mag-suicide, marami rin ang natuloy na nga mag-suicide. At naririnig rin natin yan during the news. During those times na talagang nasa kasagsagan tayo ng pandemic. Many people are really thinking of suicide. Many people have committed suicide. Iba kasi yung suicide ideation sa suicide behavior. Now, don't get me wrong, no? I am not oversimplifying suicide. Maraming factors yan. Multifactorial analysis dapat yan. There are many reasons why people commit suicide, but we cannot deny the fact, isa sa pinakamatinding contribution ng suicidal behavior, unemployment. Because psychologically speaking, we are not designed not to work. Ang bottom line na sinasabi ko dito is, again, work is life. Humans are created for work. Your existence defines your work confirms your existence. Yan dapat ang tamang framework. You start there. You acknowledge this truth. Nagigets nyo? Now we are done with number 1. Punta na tayo sa number 2. Adapt correct mindsets about work. Hindi ko pa pala pinapaliwanag. Bakit ko ayaw yung konsepto ng work-life balance? So this is where I'm going to explain, and I hope you listen. Ready? What's my problem with the concept of work-life balance? Ang ayaw ko sa konsepto ng work-life balance is it implies that work is not life. Tama ba? Kaya mo nga pinaghiwalay yung work-life eh. Ginawa mo silang polar opposite, kaya mo natawag na balance. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng balance. Meron kang polar opposite. In this case, work and life. So, ang assumption mo, tuwing nag-work ka, walang life doon. Kaya kinakailangan mong balansihin yung dalawa. Which is a violation of the truth that I just discussed. That existence is all about work. Your work confirms your existence. Wala kang dapat i-balance because it is a single entity. Nagigets nyo? Yan ang problema ko sa konsepto ng work-life balance. It is against reality. That work is life. Kaya, yung mga nakikinig ngayon, consider scrapping this out from your terminology. Huwag nyo nang gamitin yung work-life balance. Hindi yan accurate sa reality. Now, the question is, saan galing? Yung konsepto ng work-life balance, meron akong hunch. Sa tingin ko, galing to sa mga tao na hindi masaya sa work nila. May kakilala ba kayong ganyan? Ilagay nyo dyan sa comment section. Yung pangalan. Mga kakilala mong hindi masaya sa work nila. Ito yung lagi nilang sinasabi, I hate my work. My work sucks the life out of me. Ayoko nang pumasok. Monday na naman. Ang gulo-gulo sa work. May kakilala kayong ganyan? Sa psychology, ang tawag namin dyan, kapag ganyan na yung sinasabi is, baka na-burn out na siya. So, yung work-life balance, galing yan sa mga taong nag-burn out na, kaya sila yung nagka-cry out ng work-life balance. Kasi sila yung feeling nila wala silang work-life balance. Puro na lang silang work. Wala na silang life. Nagigets nyo? Sa tingin ko sila nag-imbento niyan eh. Or may isa pa akong grupo na naisip na nag-imbento ng work-life balance. Ito siguro yung mga taong gustong-gustong mag-retire ng maaga. Diba? So, hindi na baling wala muna akong balance during my early years. Mangongolekta muna ako ng milyon. Paparamihin ko muna yung savings ko. Kapag yung savings ko, 10 million pesos na, 25 years old pa lang ako, I can stop working, mag-a-around the world na lang ako, bibilin ko lahat ng Rolex sa mundo. Yun. Yan yung mga taong takot na takot magtrabaho, they cry out for work-life balance. Ito nga, mas matindi pa eh. Ayaw na nila ng work, life lang. Di ba? Tatanggalin ko na yung work. I will just live my life after I work. You see the dichotomy between work and life in those two examples. Which is again, in my perspective, mali yung ganong perspective. Alright? Now, let's talk about this. In the first place ba, yung mga taong to, bakit ba nila hate yung work nila? Ano ba yung mga pwede nating maitulong or mai-advise sa kanila just in case may kakilala kayong ganyan para hindi na nila ma-hate yung work nila? Ano yung mga pwedeng gawin para i-train natin yung mga sarili natin to love our work instead of hating our work? Ang goal natin maging Confucius tayo. Anong sabi ni Confucius? Choose a job that you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. That's the goal. How do you train yourself not to hate your work, rather, how to love working? Kaya ito yung mas gusto kong title. Maliwanag. Derechahan na. Ano yung mga dapat nating gawin para tumaas yung chance na yung mga trabaho natin, mahal natin, at hindi na natin hinihiwala yung work sa life? Kasi yung work natin, yun na mismo yung life natin. You have to adopt 3 correct mindsets. Ilan? 3. Una, dapat, ang tingin mo sa trabaho, blessing. Blessing is a very positive word. It's a very spiritual word. What does it mean? When you see your work is a blessing, number 1, yung work mo, naniniwala ka dapat that it is given to you by God. It is a gift to you by God. Binigay sa'yo ni Lord yan. Regalo niya sa'yo yan. Anak, may regalo ko sa'yo. Meron kang work gagawin dyan sa mundo. Yun, ganun dapat tingin mo sa work mo. Another way to consider work as a blessing is, iniisip mo na yung work mo is an opportunity to improve or even to sustain life. Kaninong life? Sarili mo, pati sa ibang tao, kaya siya blessing. Every day you go to work, isa na naman tong chance that I can improve the welfare of myself and the people around me. Nagigets nyo? And last one, number 3, why is work a blessing? Because it is an expression, it is a confirmation that you are still alive, na nag-e-exist ka pa. The moment that you stop working, nako, kurut-kurutin mo yung sarili mo, hindi mo alam, baka deads ka na. Okay? So the fact that you have work and you have the ability to work confirms that you are still alive. You still have the necessary health for you to do something. Nagets nyo? So i-combine nyo yung tatlong yan, tinan nyo. You will see work as a blessing. Now, i-connect natin yan sa place of perfection, which is the Garden of Eden. Diba? For those of you who read the Bible, you know that the Garden of Eden is a place of perfection. Ito yung ideal human situation. Ito yung ideal life, how life is supposed to be before we are corrupted by sin. By the way, trivia, etymology, alam nyo saan galing yung word na Eden? Ano ibig sabihin ng word na Eden? The garden of what? Delight and paradise. It's the ideal human condition where we are supposed to be bago tayo kinorrupt ng sin. Now, here's my question. If the Garden of Eden is the ideal situation, meron bang work sa Garden of Eden? Kasi syempre, sa Garden of Eden, puro blessing dyan. Going back, puro blessing. Blessing yung animals, blessing yung mga pagkain that Adam and Eve enjoyed. Kasama ba sa blessing ni Lord sa Garden of Eden, yung work? What do you think? Exercise ha. Sa following passages, I want you to identify what work is being done in the following passages. Okay? Meron bang work sa Garden of Eden? Genesis 2:15 says, yes, meron. Anong work ang pinapagawa dito kay Adam? Siya ang official gardener ng Garden of Eden. Kaya ang unang profession sa mundo is gardener. Huwag niyong minamaliit yung mga gardeners. Yung mga gardeners natin dyan sa campus, yung mga gardeners nyo dyan sa mga bahay ninyo. Nako, that's a very sacred job. It's the first job that God created for human beings. Wow, di ba? Trivia yan. Next, sa Garden of Eden, meron bang work? Meron. Ito nga mental work eh. Kung may physical work, meron din mental work. May pinagawa rin kay Adam. Siya ang nagpangalan ng lahat ng hayop during that time. Now, here's the thing. Mahirap ba yan? Hindi. Mahirap yan. Kasi during this time, maraming hayop. Wala pang extinct during this time. Don't you agree? Kasi Garden of Eden pa lang eh. Wala pang extinct. Kompleto pa yung species ng mga hayop. So, marami yan. Kaya ako sa tingin ko si Adam, sumakit-sakit ang ulo niya dyan eh. Sa kakapangalan ng mga animals. Oh. Next one. Meron bang work sa Garden of Eden? Meron. Ito, inutos na kay Adam and Eve. That they should have dominion. Or in other words, in other translations, that they should manage. They should serve as stewards. Maganda yung word na yun, no? Stewards ng lahat ng creatures that God created. That is the work of a human being during this time. Tayo ang magmamanage ng mga creatures that God created. O, di ba? Sa Garden of Eden pa lang, meron ng work. So, anong point ko dito? If Garden of Eden is so full of blessings, and it included work, work is such a blessing. Kaya kitang-kita nyo na maling attitude yung retire early. Kasi you are running away from the blessing. Parang gusto mong, as much as possible, you let go of the blessing of work. Dapat nga baliktad ang attitude mo eh. You hold on to work as long as you can because it is a blessing by God given to you. Let me repeat, existence is all about work. Your work confirms your existence. Ganyan dapat ang mindset sa work. Hanggat may trabaho ka, it is a blessing. Mindset number 2, hardships and challenges at work make me better. Karamihan sa mga tao, bakit nila hate yung work nila? Diba? That's a good question to ask. So, ito yung sagot. The reason why many people hate their work is because they see their work as a prison where they are being tortured every day. Sino dito ganyan? Or may kakilala kayong ganyan? Kapag naririnig yung word na work, tumataas yung blood pressure, nalulungkot. Why are they like that? Yun kasi yung tingin nila sa work, very negative. Preso. Place of torture. Ano ba yung meron sa work nila? Why do they see their work this way? The different challenges and hardships they experience. Like for example, in the context of a student, ano yung mga nagpapahirap sa inyo sa school? Yung mga terror na teachers, marami magpa-require, puro exam, ang hihirap pa, yung mga groupmates nyo na hindi nyo mahagilap, pinagchichismisan pa kayo, yung deadlines nyo na hindi nyo malaman paano nyo imimit kasi nga sabay-sabay, yung mga reports na pinapagawa ng mga teachers nyo, yung mga patong-patong na exams, hindi mo alam anong uunahin mong aralin. I-combine mo lahat yan, most likely you're gonna look at school that way. Preso, place of torture. That's why many people don't like to go to school. In fact, yun nga yung tanong ko sa iyo ngayon, no? Meron kayong test. Do you see your work as a prison? Or kung estudyante ka, do you see school as a prison? Meron akong simpleng test dyan. Paano mo malalaman na negative yung tingin mo sa work mo? Merong lalabas na picture dito, and then, in a scale of 1 to 10, gusto ko i-rate mo kung gaano ka kasaya nung makita mo yung picture na yan. 10 the highest, 1 the lowest. Ready? What's the picture? Here's the picture. Yan. Imaginein mo, malakas ang ulan, tapos nag-i-internet ka, yan ang nakita mo, hashtag walang pasok. Would you feel good in a scale of 1 to 10? Yan. Kapag ang sagot mo dito is, ang cut-off ko dito is 6 and above. 6 to 10, masaya ka. Kapag walang pasok, most likely, you see your work as a prison. Kasi kung ang work sa'yo, blessing, kung ang work sa'yo, happy place mo yan, malungkot ka dapat na walang pasok. And the fact na tuwang-tuwa ka, di ba? Naglulundag-lundag ka pa dyan, nagse-celebrate ka na walang pasok, most likely, kaya ka ganyan, negative yung tingin mo sa work mo. Does that make sense? Ngayon, meron pa akong isang i-insert na variable dito. Isa pang nakaka-contribute sa tingin ko why a lot of people today see their work as a prison or a place of torture is because of the self-love movement. Usong-usong ngayon to sa popular psychology, which I so disagree, which I am so against. For those of you not familiar with the self-love movement, ito yung philosophy ngayon, paniniwala ngayon that the ultimate good, that the ultimate goal of life is to be happy. That you are special, that the number one priority should be about yourself. Kaya yung mga taong na brainwash ng self-love movement, meron kayong ganitong reasoning, di ba? I don't deserve this. I deserve better. Oh my goodness. Kaya ang nangyayari ngayon, whenever you work, tapos namimit mo yung mga challenges na yan, asan na yon? Namimit mo yung mga difficulties na yan, pero na brainwash ka ng self-love movement, anong effect niyan? As much as possible, you run away from work because I don't deserve this. I deserve better, and by better you mean gusto ko ng work na walang hirap. Gusto ko ng work na hindi ako mapapagod. Gusto ko ng work na hindi ako mafe-feel bad. That's the poison of the self-love movement. Kaya kapag na-stress ka na, and many young people are like this today, pag na-i-stress na sa work, konting challenge lang, napagalitan lang ng konti, anong mangyayari? I don't deserve this. I deserve vitamin C. Yan. Pupunta na sa Boracay, magbabakasyon. I deserve this. I love myself. Nagigets ninyo? That's the wrong framework on how you should behave at work. Instead of looking at work like a prison like this, ang tamang framework is you look at your work like a gymnasium. Yan ang tama. Anong ibig sabihin ng work as a gymnasium? Ine-expect mo na marami kang hardships na mararanasan dyan. But you look at the hardships in the positive light. Parang sa gym, di ba? Pagpasok mo ng gym, alam mo naman na puro paghihirap yung pagdaraanan mo dun eh. Bubuhat ka ng mabigat, hihingalin mo yung sarili mo sa treadmill, pipilipitin mo yung katawan mo sa kaka-stretching. You know you're gonna struggle in the gym. But, you love the struggle because you know yung mga struggles na yon, yun yung magpapalakas sa katawan mo. Yun ang magpapalaki ng biceps mo. Yun ang magpapaganda ng forma ng katawan mo. Yun ang susunog ng mga fats mo. So whenever you encounter challenges in the gym, hindi ka negative. In fact, nag-e-enjoy ka pa nga mag-workout. Kaway-kaway dyan yung mga mahilig mag-workout. Di ba? Ganyan kayo, no? Hindi kayo negative sa mga hardships sa gym because you know these hardships are good for you. It makes you better. O, ganun din. When it comes to work, dapat ganyan yung attitude nyo. Na kapag meron kayong challenges in whatever you do, sabi nga ni St. James, no? Dapat nga matuwa pa kayo. You consider it pure joy. Pag meron kayong mga hardships sa work, hindi yung alis agad, Boracay agad. Because you know na pag meron kayong mga hardships, the testing of your faith produces perseverance. You improve in your character when you face these difficulties that you have. In the psychological language from James chapter 1 verses 2 to 3, ang tawag dyan sa psychology is grit. I highly recommend you read this book by Angela Duckworth, who is a psychologist herself. Ang sabi niya, yung mga taong successful sa buhay may grit. Grit is about doing the hard work. So araw-araw meron silang hardness sa pinagdaraanan, mahirap, day in and day out. Madalas pa nga, in spite of the hardships na pinagdaraanan nila, wala pang reward. Wala man lang recognition, wala man lang bayad, wala man lang appreciation. Okay lang yon, sabi ni Angela Duckworth. Ganyan ang mga taong successful. In spite of the difficulties, they take these difficulties positively. People with high levels of grit make it big in their life. Talk about Jack Ma. Ilang beses siyang na-reject. Ang dami-dami niyang na-reject. Pero he did not stop working. Every time he is rejected, he just applies James 1, 2 to 3. Nag-persevere lang siya. Tuloy-tuloy lang. Reject, tuloy. Reject, tuloy. Reject, tuloy. Until he became the Jack Ma that we know of him today. Ganun din yung story ng Beatles. Very touching. Alam naman natin, Beatles, one of the greatest of all time. Pero yung unang beses na nag-audition sila, according to historians, grabe, alam niyo ba kung anong comment sa kanila? Audition sila sa isang club somewhere in England. Hindi sila tinanggap doon sa club na yon kasi sabi ng owner nung nag-audition tong mga to, ang ingay ng music ninyo. Did they stop playing? No. They just move on to another club, played another club, played another club, played. They never stopped. They simply persevered. Ano naging outcome? In the long run, naging greatest of all time. Does that make sense? Ganon dapat yung mindset natin sa work. All the hardships that we face habang nagtatrabaho tayo, lahat yan, pinapalakas tayo character-wise. Mindset number 3, how to love your work. You should see your work as your what? Purpose, calling, and mission. Yan dapat. See your work as your purpose, calling, and mission. Anong ibig sabihin ko ng purpose, calling, and mission? Ang ibig sabihin yan is, this is a task that is supernaturally assigned for you to do. Yan ang ibig sabihin ng calling mo yung work mo. Ang tingin mo sa work mo, tinawag ka ni Lord para gawin yan. Kaya mo ginagawa yung work mo kasi this is your way of answering God's call for you to do the work. In contrast, yung society natin kasi hindi ganyan yung turo sa atin eh. Ang tinuturo sa atin ng society natin, bakit tayo dapat magtrabaho? Para kumita ng kwarta. Yan, sweldo, no? Bakit mo ginagawa yung work mo? Yan yung magpapasikat sa'yo. Bakit mo ginagawa yung work mo? Kasi yan yung magbibigay sa akin ng happiness ko. Kaya kapag yung work mo hindi na masaya, resign na. Punta na lang sa Boracay. Yun, mali yan. Dapat ang perspective mo sa work mo, binigay sa akin to ni Lord. Dito ako tinatawag ni Lord to do His work. This is a good visualization of what I'm talking about. Yan, no? You always start with your why. Everybody say why, also known as your purpose. Dito ka magsisimula. Your why should determine your what. Kung ano man yung work na gagawin mo, depende yan kung ano ang pinapagawa sa'yo ni Lord. Again, this why is supernaturally given to you. Kung ano man yung work na ginagawa mo, dapat tugma yun sa bakit. Bakit ka ginawa ni Lord? Bakit kanya nilagay sa mundo? Kasi may pinapagawa siya sa'yo. Yun yung gawing mong work. Now, in my example, let me use myself as an example. No? Ako tugma yung ganyan ko eh. Alam ko na yung purpose ko sa buhay, kaya ako ginawa ni Lord is to glorify God by increasing the spiritual intelligence of young people. Gusto ko pinapataas. Sinasabi sa akin ni Lord, pataasin ko yung SQ ng mga estudyante. I should be making young people be aware of God's presence, that God is real, that heaven and hell are real. Pataasin ko yung mga spirituality, yung spiritual life ng mga young people. Yan yung purpose ko. So what do I do? Na bagay sa ganyang purpose, being a college teacher. Kasi sa college, maraming young people. Sa college, maraming young people who are lost. They don't even care about their spiritual life. They don't even believe that there is a God. So yun ngayon yung mga tinutulungan ko, no? That's the kind of work that I do given my purpose. Kwento ko nga lang sa inyo, mabilis lang, no? One time, I was feeling down. Nagda-doubt ako, Lord, tama ba tong trabahong pinasok ko? At times, talagang you will also doubt. Magdududa ka rin if nasa tama ka bang trabaho, At ako pinagdaanan ko yan. Now, God is so gracious to answer me. Nung nagdududa ako if I am in the right line of work, naglalakad-lakad ako somewhere in the campus, may nakita akong message sa bulletin board, it really caught my attention, and I think God spoke to me through that bulletin board. Sinagot niya ako. Anong tanong ko kanina? Lord, am I in the right work? Ito ba yung calling mo sa akin? Maging college teacher? Aba, anong nabasa ko sa bulletin board? It is God who has called you, who has chosen you for this ministry, and who has sent you to work in His vineyard. Ginamit pa ni Lord si Lasal para ipamukha sa akin that I am definitely, no doubt, in the right line of work, being a Lasallian teacher. Does that make sense? Kaya ever since this happened, nag-iba na talaga yung perspective ko every time I go to Lasal to work. Pagising ko sa umaga, I know my body is automatic. Tatayo na yan, maliligo na yan, magbibihis na yan, papunta sa school. Bakit? Why do I go to work every day? Bakit? Because I am answering God's call. Feel na feel ko yan. Pagising ko sa umaga, may tumatawag sa akin. Si God. Tinatawag niya ako dito. Howard, gumising ka na, tinatawag kita, pumunta ka na doon sa school, pumunta ka na dyan sa Lasal, gawin mo na yung mga pinapagawa ko sa'yo. Sabihin mo na yung mga bagay na gusto kong sabihin sa mga estudyante mo. Bilisan mo, malilate ka na. Yan. That's how I see it. Hindi ako pupunta sa Lasal para sumweldo, para magpa-cool, no. Para magpasikat sa mga students, no. I go to work because I am answering God's call. Yan ang tamang perspective sa work. And just to further encourage you to have this kind of perspective, may mga positive effects sa akin yan. Kapag ganyan yung tingin mo sa ginagawa mo, ano yung mga positive effects niya? Number one, ang taas ng energy mo. Ang taas ng excitement mo every time you do your work. Parang hindi ka napapagod. Although mapapagod ka pero matagal. Compared to kung yung ginagawa mo hindi mo purpose, ang bilis mong mapagod. Diba, binuhat mo lang yung silya, pagod ka na. Kasi hindi mo naman linya yun Hindi ka naman nung tinawag. Diba? Number two, high resilience. Ang dami ko ng trial sa Lasal, Hindi ko na lang ikukwento sa inyo kasi hindi naman tayo close. No? Pero marami akong failures. Marami akong discouragements. Yet, I still push on. Tinuloy ko pa rin yung pagiging teacher. Kahit na there are times I have so many reasons to stop being a teacher. Number three, dahil ginagawa ko yung isang bagay that I am meant to do, tumataas yung level of competence ko. Because if God calls you to do something, He will also supply to you the things that you need to do that something so well. Tama ba? Hindi naman hindi naman unfair si Lord. Ilalagay kayo sa isang workplace tapos wala siyang ipapadala sa'yo. God has given me different gifts in connection to teaching because He knows He created me to be a teacher. Kaya ang resulta niyan, gumagaling ka sa ginagawa mo. Hindi ko naman sinasabing magaling ako. Tama ba? Kayo na lang magsabi kung magaling ako o hindi. No? Pero from my perspective, I think I'm very effective in what I do. And that's not because of me. It's because of the gifts that God has given me. And most importantly, number four, kapag yung kapag yung work mo in line sa purpose mo, at the end of the day, you feel fulfilled. Everybody say fulfilled. Ibig sabihin ng fulfilled yung yung talagang you have that peace, you have that certainty that talagang you are in the right place. This is the thing that I am meant to do for the rest of my life until I die. Kaya i-combine mo yung numbers 1 to 4 na yan, as a teacher, yan na yung resulta sa akin. I am overworked, I am quote-unquote underpaid, but 17 years and counting, I'm still in this line of work. I-clarify ko lang hindi ako nagrereklamo sa sweldo ko by saying underpaid. By underpaid, I mean compared to other line of work. Like pag-aartista, pagiging businessman, di ba? Pagiging piloto, doctor, maliit ang sweldo ng pagiging teacher. Pero Lasal pays well. Yan Wala akong reklamo baka nyo ako dyan isumbong nyo ako sa Lasal. No? Basta, I am doing my purpose as a teacher. My work is in line with my purpose. Now we know, given this framework, why someone hates his or her work. Tinanong natin kanina yan Why would someone hate his or her work? Kasi yung ginagawa nila, yung work nila is not in line with their purpose. They don't know their purpose in the first place. Kaya dyan nagsisimula yung mga ganyang comment Subukan mo magtrabaho, gawin mo yung isang bagay na wala sa purpose mo. Yung hindi mo linya yan. Most likely, ito yung mga sasabihin mo. I'm tired. This is not for me. This is not me. Why am I even doing this? Is this it? Ito na lang ba yung gagawin ko for the rest of my life? Lord, kunin mo na ako. Wala. Pag lumilinya ka ng ganyan, that's the sign that your work is not in line with your purpose. Some examples, you are created by God to create music, yet you're doing business. Most likely, ganyan ang mga sasabihin mo. You are called by God to be an artist, yet nag-accountant ka dyan. Most likely, isang araw, yan ang sasabihin mo. Kaya nga, i-connect mo yan kay Jesus. Why is Jesus Why does Jesus love to work? Why was he super efficient in what he did? Biruin mo yon, 3 years lang niya ginawa yung ministry niya, pero yung effect ng ministry niya 2,000 years ago, hanggang ngayon super effective pa rin. Yung impact niya hanggang ngayon umaabot. We still talk about him. The church is still present. What made him super efficient? Because he was like that. Sure na sure siya na yung work na ginagawa niya nung nasa mundo siya, tugmang-tugma yun. Very in line yon sa purpose niya. He said that in John diba? Sabi niya, my food is to do the will of Him who sent me and to finish His work. He knew kung anong purpose niya, and that's exactly what He did every day of His life. Last analogy, para gets na gets nyo kung paano mahalin yung mga trabaho nyo nung isang araw. Kumausap ako ng isang kutsara. At yung kutsara na yan, malungkot, almost depressed. Siyempre, being a psychology teacher, tinanong ko yung kutsara, bakit ka malungkot? Anong sagot sa akin ng kutsara? Malungkot ako kasi feeling ko hindi ako efficient sa ginagawa ko kahit ginagawa ko naman yung best ko. E di tinanong ko siya, ano ba yung mga ginagawa mo na feeling mo hindi ka super efficient? Ano sagot sa akin ng kutsara? Nung isang araw, tinry ko naman maghukay ng maghukay. Kasi magsiset sana ako ng foundation sa itatayong kondo dyan malapit sa Taft Avenue. But no matter how hard I try, kahit anong hukay ko, ang sakit na nga ng ulo ko, na bungi-bungi na nga, o na baluktot na nga. Kahit anong try ko, hindi pa rin malalim enough yung foundation na nabuo ko. Nagalit pa sa akin yung mga engineers. Bakit hindi raw malalim enough yung ginawa ko? Tapos may dinagdag pa siya. Talagang depressed, maraming problema. May dinagdag pa. Sabi pa niya, nung isang araw din, nagalit sa akin yung amo ko. Kasi tinatry ko naman yung best ko na painumin siya ng tubig gamit itong ulo ko. But no matter how hard I try, sa pagbibigay sa kanya ng tubig, ginagawa ko naman yung best ko, hindi ko raw mapawala yung uhaw niya. Wala raw akong silbi. Grabe, no? You see? Siguro naman hindi kayo naniwala na talaga may kinausap akong kutsara. Tama ba? It was just an analogy, right? But anong mali doon sa ginagawa ng kutsara? Gumagawa siya ng mga bagay that he was not designed to do. Huwag kang maghukay ng foundation. Huwag kang magpainom ng tubig kasi hindi yan trabaho ng kutsara. Yung paghuhukay ng foundation, trabaho ng bulldozer yun. Yung pag-iinom ng tubig, trabaho ng baso yun. So how do you improve the well-being of this spoon? Kung totoo man siya, start doing the work that you are designed to do. Does that make sense? So in closing, I want you to pause and reflect. What is your why? How clear is your why? Yan. And most importantly, kapag nasagot mo na yung 2 questions na yan about your why, i-connect mo yan sa what mo. Given your why, what work are you doing? Or maybe kung future tense ka, college student ka pa lang, what work do you plan to do? Dapat yung sagot mo dito sa what na to is in line with your why. Kaya wag sana kayong gagraduate ng eskwelahan hanggat hindi nyo nalalaman yung why ninyo. Purpose is very important. Knowing your purpose is very important. Sabi ko nga, no, meron akong quotable quote dito, God's why for you must determine what work you do. Let me repeat. God's why for you must determine what work you do. In summary, as we close this lecture, how do you love work? Number 1, acknowledge the truth that work is life. Kalimutan mo na yung konsepto ng work-life balance. Your existence confirms your work confirms your existence. Stop doing work-life balance. Palitan mo yan. Ang mas magandang term dyan is work-life fusion. Yan ang maganda. Pinagsama mo yung work and life. And number 2, eto, adopt correct mindsets about work. Yung tinuro ko, yung 3 mindsets na yan, that work is a blessing, love or face the challenges at work. Huwag yung konting hirap lang, alis ka na kaagad kasi feeling mo you don't deserve it. And letter C, find the work where you are called to do. Does that make sense? gawin mo yung mga yan, I'm sure 100% you will end up loving your work. Alright? So, yan lang yung maikli kong lecture about this topic. Quote and quote maikli. Medyo isang oras tayo ngayon. Sana marami kayong natutunan. If you have questions, comments, ilagay nyo lang dyan sa baba. Sir Howard here. God bless everyone. Bye-bye.